Hey everybody, Jim Haas, Regional Sales Manager with Blaze. Today I'm going to show you how to swap out the lights on our LTE series or Pro grills. I'm going to be working on this 3-burner Pro today, but this process will apply to anything that we have that has the lights in it. Why would you want to swap out the lights? Well, most common reason is one of these little LEDs that highlights the knobs might go out, or one of the halogens under the hood might go out. We also now offer light packages other than the standard red that comes with our LTE or Pro grills. We also offer blue, amber, or clear lights. So I'm going to show you how to swap out all of this, including the switches. While I'm in here, I'll show you how to swap out one of the gas valves should that become troublesome and need to be replaced. So here we go. The most common issue that might happen with these lights is one of these fragile LEDs that highlight the knobs might go out. So to replace a single one of those bulbs, you want to pull the knob off, and there's going to be a single Phillips head screw just above that knob. Loosen that, the light housing is going to drop out, and it's going to have this connector. And just pull it, it's just a plug and play kind of a deal. Loosen it from the connector, get your new bulb, and plug it back in. All of our grills do come with a full set of replacement bulbs and buttons in the owner's manual. So once you got that going, tuck it back up into the housing. Tighten your screw and away you go. On occasion, you might get one of the halogen bulbs burning out that light up the grill surface area. If that happens, take your warming rack out, give yourself some space to work. There is a glass lens over the light housing. Those just pop out by hand. So just like that. And then these halogen bulbs, again, real easy, just plug and play. I'm going to bring you in close on this so you can kind of see what I'm talking about in there. Tricky camera work, I know. So this is the halogen bulb with I recommend gloves or a paper towel. Pull that bulb out, replace it with a new one if it burns out. You don't want to touch the halogen bulb. The oil on your fingers oftentimes causes it to overheat and burn out prematurely. So once the new one is in, replace the glass housing. Just that easy. All right, in an instance where one of the light buttons has burned out, or if you're switching out the whole lighting package, this is going to require moving the grill head forward a couple of inches. So if you're in a built-in island, you can probably just pull the grill head toward you about an inch or two is all you're going to need. If you're in a cart, you're going to be secured on each corner. There'll be a screw on each side of the inside corner that holds the grill head onto the cart. So you just want to take those out so you can scooch this forward. There'll be one on that side as well. All right, next step is going to be removing this front control panel. There are 2 screws under each knob that hold not only the bezel in place, but also help to hold the whole control panel on. So you want to get those screws from under each knob. There's 2 each. And this is the part where it kind of becomes more tedious than difficult. All right, knobs and bezels have been removed, and now just come forward a couple inches. You're going to see 2 screws on each side of the control panel holding those in. Where are those screws? There they are. And we want to take those out, 2 on each side. And the control panel will kind of begin to kind of fall off. It shouldn't fall completely off. But just in case, you kind of want to hold it with an extra leg, or if you got somebody with you, an extra pair of hands. And now, control panel comes right off. Over on this side, you're going to see 3 different connectors. One of them is going to be the feed for all the LED lights. And again, plug and play, undo that. The two others are going to be for the switches. Once the control panel is free, now you've got access to the back side of the switches, and they're just held in with this flat nut. And a lot of times, thankfully this was one of those times, you can unscrew it with your fingers, because I just realized I don't have any pliers on me. But just unscrew that. The switch now pops out the front. Replace it with the new color light switch or with the new red switch, if that be the case. And you're ready to plug everything back in. Just want to make sure you kind of line up these connectors have a little grabber, and there's a small lip on the edges of these lights. Let me bring you in closer. More fancy camera work. Check it out. Yeah. So let's see. You want to just make sure that you line everything up, and that should just slide right back on. If they don't slide right back on with any amount of ease, don't force it. Kind of make sure that it's got, let's see, like 5 little connectors on the end of the switch right here. You just want to make sure they line up with everything inside those holes. And there it goes. I think I just made it look more difficult than it is. So there you go. Once you've got everything back together, before you screw the control panel back onto the grill head and put all the knobs and everything on, make sure you plug in all your connectors, test your lights, make sure everything works before you put it back together. Now while I have this off, I'm just going to undo these lights again real quick. I'll show you how to change out a gas valve while we have this all apart. Get the control panel out of the way. All right, so if you've got a faulty gas valve, pretty rare, but I've seen it happen before where it needs to be replaced. Control panel off. The bottom side of the valve, there's a single Phillips head screw that is holding this bracket onto the valve itself. Once that screw is free, you're going to see this front part just kind of pops open, pops off. Gas valve is free. Put the new one in its place. There's a small stem or a small port. You see right here with the grommet around it. This is what seals it onto the manifold so the gas doesn't leak. You want to just make sure that that port sits just right back on the manifold. Put your bracket back over the bottom portion of that gas valve and tighten down the screw. What I cover a little bit of in my initial setup video is a leak test. It's always a good idea to do a leak test. With the gas line hooked up and a bottle of soapy water, spray it on all of these valves and on the back of the manifold where the gas line goes into the grill to make sure there's no leaks. If you see any bubbling up or anything, you want to call a gas professional and rectify that situation. You also want to do a leak test if you need to replace any of these valves. And again, before you put everything back together, it's going to be real easy to get to with the control panel off. So there you go. I'm going to put it all back together now. Thanks for taking the time to watch. Hope that helps, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.